I'm Larson, a cattleman from Okeechobee. If you ask the people that have tried Florida calves 20 years ago and Florida calves in the last year or two, they would probably tell you there's a big difference. I think the biggest difference is genetics. As we've improved our selection and getting better quality bulls into the Florida cow herd, weaning weights have gone up dramatically. In my career, when I started, you know, it was a challenge to get a 400-pound calf at weaning, and now it's pretty common to find 500 to 600 pounds as a weaning weight, and that's pretty commonplace with a lot of herds. As far as climate, it's always a thing with climate. I think we probably used to think we needed a lot of Brahman blood in our cows. We're using less and less and still getting by. You know, most of our cows still have a little bit of Brahman blood in them, but it's a lot less than it was a few years back. I think some of the folks that have fed Florida cows are finding out that they grade well, that they really have good carcass traits, and that goes back to genetics and some of the good herd sires that have been used on Florida herds. People always want to know, how can I make my product worth more, or how can I differentiate my calf from everybody else's? And so, you know, you're kind of producing generic beef, or you're producing a branded beef, or there's different ways. Certainly, it starts out with ID, probably, you know, being able to verify that the calves were born in a certain place. Marketing-wise, if you're able to produce a truckload lot, or if you're even able to team up with another producer that's able to put together a truckload lot, that's probably worth something to the buyer. There's several auction markets that work with producers to try to get a better value. There's also some internet companies that do that. Sometimes they work with the auction barns, sometimes they don't. But anyway, there's ways to do that. Usually herd health is a big one, because nobody can make any money on a calf if it dies. And so if you have healthy calves, that should be worth something. Should be worth something extra to the buyer. You need a buyer and a seller. Now, how do you get that done? It can be just as simple as me making a deal with somebody else. Certainly, the livestock markets have been around for a long time, where you physically move the cattle to the market. I mean, all the way back to the cattle drives, where they drove them across open range to Chicago. Today, it's more of a pickup truck with a gooseneck trailer hauls them to the market. Certainly, the video auctions that came along maybe 20 years ago now was a revolution. I mean, a lot of cattle moved that way, especially if you had truckload lots, or at least a half a truckload, where you could move cattle and sell them without moving the cattle physically. Now, internet, certainly that's even a bigger change. And let's talk about the internet as what's available on the internet. People that really want your business ought to be willing to engage with you a little bit and talk about what you need to make that truckload of calves, or if it's source and age, if it's health programs, and all the little details that it takes to market. You can also get a lot of information about how you can become a better producer. You know, there are lots of different sites on the web that you can go to, and that's one of the things that we hope to do at Florida Cattlemen's Association, is make our website a place where people can go and learn about, you know, we have smaller producers that maybe have 50 cows or 100 cows. We want those people to go to a place where they can learn about, you know, what kind of breeds there are and what kind of grasses there are and production practices, and just make them part of this industry and make a better product.